call from Brian Anderson last night. How exciting is that for Lorenzo Cain? Now, the stage is set for a sweep here in Milwaukee. Back at Miller Park, Game 3, Brewers and Pirates, and yet again, the Brewers in position to sweep away the Pittsburgh Pirates as their domination over the last several years in this series continues. David and Craig back on board here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. How about just the numbers this season alone, the offensive numbers, Davey, that the Brewers have been able to put up against Pittsburgh, almost second to none, really, in baseball?
Well, they certainly are, and, you know, the Brewers have been able to really capitalize on some mistake pitches by the Pirates.
Well, they certainly have. Outscore them 117-74, 32 home runs and 115 RBIs so far in this series. And French Fielder gets the home run back going not once but twice yesterday, and Luke Corey as well after no home runs on Friday as well.
Well, you know, and they brought the crew back from being down runs, and what that does, I'm going to tell you right now, it puts in the back of the mind of the Pirates that, oh man, here they come again. They had a comfortable lead, but then all of a sudden, one little thing starts a steamroll.
2 comeback wins for the Brewers so far on Friday and Saturday. Dave Bush had his ups and downs so far this season. Is he due for an uptick and a victory as the crew tries to close out in style by sweeping away the Pirates? BA and Rock waiting on the other side for you.
Is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And brought to you by the new Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. It is the final Sunday of the homestand, and it's been a long homestand. The Brewers welcomed in the Padres, then the Dodgers, and they finish it up today with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And what a thriller last night. If you weren't with us, the bullpen was the story. Manny Parra, Mike McClendon, Todd Coffey, and then you had John Axford. He pitched a scoreless inning. Trevor Hoffman pitched a scoreless inning as well. And then it was Cameron Lowe in the 11th to round it out. Cameron Lowe was the ultimate winner as Lorenzo Cain delivered the game-winning hit in the 11th. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us. The Brewers are going after the sweep of the Pirates here today. And, Rock, last night the bullpen was impressive, but they had to pick up 8 innings, and that means Dave Bush could use an extended start here tonight.
And he's usually pretty good at that. I mean, there are times when Bush, he gives up runs, but always finds a way to get into the 6th inning, and that was certainly the situation, his last time out. But he's done well against the Pirates so far this year. Last time out against Charlie Morton, today's starter for the Pirates. He threw shutout innings, 7 of them, and his 2-1 record against the Pirates. And certainly, as you talked about, he's got to pitch deep tonight.
Well, Dave Bush looking for a bounce-back start. Charlie Morton returns from AAA to match up with him. The Brooms are out. Can the Brewers sweep the Pirates again? It's the final game of the series, and it's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Fan giveaway today, the CC Sabathia bobblehead. Look at all of those boxes of baubles as the fans coming in rather quickly here to Miller Park today. Great day for baseball, the Pirates and the Brewers. Here's how the Pirates line up today, courtesy of Subway. It's Jose Tabata leading off, Delwin Young, then Neil Walker, Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez, and Ryan Doumit. And then it's Lastings, Millage, Ronnie Cedeno, and Charlie Morton. And that Pittsburgh lineup will face Dave Bush, and he's looking to repeat his success from earlier in the year against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's 2-1 against the Pirates, an ERA at about 3.6. He's done a pretty good job against Pittsburgh, and he's looking for win number 7 in his 26th start today.
Here's how the Brewers line up defensively behind Bush. Brought to you by Blaines, Braun, Dickerson, and England get the start in the outfield. It's McGee, Escobar, Weeks in fielder around the horn, and Kataris will catch Dave Bush. So last night's star, Lorenzo Cain, is on the bench to begin play today. And Corey Hart is also on the bench today. Both available off the bench later. Marvin Hudson is the home plate umpire. The crew chief is Mike Riley over at first. Tabata on the first pitch flies out to Dickerson for the first out, and away we go. The free swinging Pirates living up to their reputation with the first batter.
Yeah, got to be careful. First pitch fastball. Dave Bush. That cut fastball should be a big pitch for him today. The way these guys like to hack first pitch.
Well, yesterday the Brewers won in 11 innings. An extra inning victory for Milwaukee. And what's interesting about these two teams this year, they have played 8 games at Miller Park in 2010, and 5 of those games have been decided in the final at-bat. And thanks to Lorenzo Cain's single, his RBI that won the game, the Brewers, for the 3rd time winning in their final at-bat here at Miller Park, 3 walk-off victories against the Pirates this season.
And the Pirates continue to struggle away from home. They've lost now 12 straight road games, and a very good ball game last night. A couple of errors late for the Pirates did them in.
That eats up Casey McGee, and Young is going to reach. Delwyn Young getting the start today for Pittsburgh. He's been their best pinch hitter, but the starting right fielder, and he is on base. And that'll be an error on Casey McGee in E5. Well, last night, the middle of that Pittsburgh order did some damage. Jose Tabata, Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, all 3 back in the starting lineup today. And impressive rookies all, Tabata, Walker, and Alvarez. They've really come on and made some noise for John Russell's club, and giving Pirates fans at least something to be encouraged about for next season.
And all 3 of them have pretty good numbers against Dave Bush. They're limited at bats, but they've had some success. But Dave Bush has had success against the Pirates, particularly this year.
Well, Neil Walker has been a tough out all season for any Brewers pitcher. He's hitting .421 against Milwaukee this year, and hitting at an even 300 to start play today. That covers 297 at bats, as a matter of fact. So that's a pretty good sample size to tell you what kind of hitter Neil Walker is at the big league level.
Yeah, pretty good from both sides of the plate. The Pirates have 3 switch hitters in their starting lineup.
The 2-0 from Bush, and it's in there for a strike. Well, there was an 8-7 win last night. The Brewers out-hit Pittsburgh 15-11 in a game that took 4 hours and 16 minutes to play. And 11 innings. It was a marathon last night, but it was a happy ending for the Brewers and a crowd of nearly 38,000 at Miller Park. And good for Lorenzo Cain. He kind of, edged his way into his rookie season. Hadn't had that signature moment yet until last night. He's been so impressive.
Yeah, he has. I mean, his 7th inning where he got on a fielder's choice, able to get around the stolen base. He advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch and then scored on an error. I mean, he's a very exciting player, and for his trouble, he finds himself on the pine today.
He gets to enjoy a successful night.
Good job, kid. Grab some bench.
Enjoy the view. Now, Ken Macha is saying that Cain and Chris Dickerson have both played well. Of course, Cain has been exceptionally well for Ken Macha in center field. And some decisions to be made on Chris Dickerson, who's also defended well in center field. Dickerson had a couple of RBIs earlier on the homestand. The Brewers really have 3 center fielders right now, with Carlos Gomez, Chris Dickerson, and Lorenzo Cain. And right now, because Gomez was on the disabled list, that concussion, he's kind of the odd man out as far as playing time.
Gomez pinch hit last night, got a base hit. You talk about speed in that center field spot. Just a matter of who's going to be able to get on base enough.
Now, there is healthy competition for sure, but one thing that impressed me about Gomez last night, he was one of the first players to reach Lorenzo Cain in that post-hit celebration on the field. He was high-fiving him, patting him on the back, and you love to see that. Gomez really is he's a good guy, and he has a good attitude. As Walker sends that one deep to right, and there it goes. Man, this guy just destroys Brewer pitching. It's unbelievable.
And they continue to throw him strikes, and they continue to make mistakes on him. I guess it might be time to incorporate that Pirate pitching staff philosophy against the Brewers. You crowd him with the fastball, and if you hit him, so be it. That guy is a one-man wrecking crew against Milwaukee, and he just continues to get good pitches to hit. A cut fastball that stayed up, out over the plate, and Walker able to keep it fair just inside that right field foul pole.
Well, not one pitch inside the strike zone according to Fox Tracks, but Walker able to turn on that inside pitch. A 2-run home run, his 7th homer of the year, now 44 runs batted in.
Somebody's getting him out. I'd like to see how. I mean, he's hitting 300. That's very good, but the way he's hit Brewer pitching, it's a rarity when he even makes an out against the Brewers.
His updated batting average against Milwaukee is .436. And we're talking about a significant chunk of at-bats as well. That covers 39 at-bats for Neil Walker. So the Pirates right back at it. 2 runs on the board early.
And the home run ball is a problem for Dave Bush. His last time out against the Dodgers gave up a couple of home runs. A 2-run shot, a 3-run home run. Accounted for the 5 runs that he allowed in 6 innings.
There's a swing and a miss. Garrett Jones, a strikeout victim for Dave Bush. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
It's always been the key to success for Dave Bush. Keeping the baseball down, might not always find the corners with it, but if he keeps it around the knees, he's going to be all right. It's when he elevates pitches, that's when he gets in big trouble.
Two outs. Pedro Alvarez, the batter for the Pirates. The Brewers against Pittsburgh this year, 12-5. This is the final matchup between these two teams this season. Game number 18 between the two clubs this year. And it has been 4 years of dominance for Milwaukee against Pittsburgh. Braun coming in, and he's got it for the out. The inning is over, but Neil Walker delivers once again. A 2-run home run, and the Pirates have the early lead. The Brewers are coming to bat. Now the Brewers coming up for the first time this afternoon. Brought to you by Subway. And Ken Maka has Ricky Weeks, Joe England, and Ryan Braun at the top of the order. England is in there for Hart. Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Chris Dickerson in the middle, with Escobar, Kataris, and Dave Bush rounding it out. The Subway Brewers batting order.
Well, Charlie Morton really having a tough season. He spent a lot of time down in the minor leagues after going on the disabled list with shoulder fatigue. Is winless on the road this year.
Back in the big leagues for the first time in about 3 months. Had some pretty good numbers down in AAA Indianapolis to earn his return to the major leagues. And a strike to Ricky Weeks to get it started. Weeks hitting .273, has 24 home runs and 74 driven in. He's been able to keep that on base percentage near .370 most of the year. Today he begins play with a .368 on base percentage. No balls, 2 strikes on Weeks with Joe Inglet to follow. No Corey Hart in the starting lineup today. And right to Walker for out number 1. Charlie Morton came up with the Braves, ended up with the Pirates, and the numbers for Charlie Morton, medium rare, you get it? Steakhouse?
Morton Steakhouse, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, with Indianapolis, he pitched very well. 80 innings down there, a .383 earned run average. It's been a different story, however, in the big league.
Yeah, maybe getting too much of the play, throwing too many strikes. I mean, case in point, that last pitch to Ricky Weeks, right down the middle of the fastball, and Ricky hit it hard, but right at Walker at second base. 12 home runs for Morton in 10 starts, 43 in the 3rd innings.
Morton was acquired by the Pirates via trade. That was the Nate McLouth trade. Well, that McLouth trade has not worked out for Atlanta. As a matter of fact, McLouth has actually spent time in the minor leagues this year. There's no room for McLouth in the Braves outfield. It was a Gold Glove all-star outfielder for the Pirates, but has not shown that kind of success with the Atlanta Braves. So Pittsburgh certainly hoping they can salvage something out of that trade, and you figure Charlie Morton will get a good chance the rest of the year.
You know, even before the trade with the Pirates, he was having trouble staying on the field. He was on and off the disabled list, and that's been the case for McLouth in Atlanta. You get a good arm. You know, you talked to Dale Swayman about this kid, Charlie Morton. He says he can't figure out his numbers. He's got good stuff. He'll get his fastball up there at around 94 miles an hour. He's got some tail to it. A curveball, a slider, and a changeup. Numbers just don't bear out given his arm.
Has a career earned run average in the major leagues over 6 and a 10-26 record. Every game but one has been a start. 44 games, 43 career starts for Morton. As Inglet hits one off his right arm, Alvarez barehands the throw. He's not in time. Joe Inglet with a base hit, and we'll see if Charlie Morton can continue in this game.
Right, Joe Inglet continues to put good at-bats together. A line drive bullet right back to the box. Charlie Morton saying, no reason to bring a trainer out. I'm just fine. Ryan Doumit checking him out, making sure he's okay. A nice short stroke for Inglet. Nice and relaxed up there at the plate, and a bullet off of his body. Alvarez not able to get the throw over there in time.
Joe Inglet has been the best pinch hitter in Major League Baseball. Today he gets a start for Ken Macha, and he delivers with an infield hit. And now Ryan Braun with a base runner. 2-0 Pirates. Pittsburgh got a 2-run homer from Neil Walker in the first. And here is Braun with Inglet at first. 1 away. And a hot shot back up the middle. Base hit. So Ryan Braun continues his hitting ways. He had a terrific night last night. On base 4 times in last night's game, including 2 hits. And here is the Pirates defense. Lastings Milledge, Jose Tabata, and Delwin Young. Alvarez, Cedeno, Walker, and Jones. And Doumit catching Charlie Morton. Lastings Milledge back in the starting lineup tonight in left field, or today I should say.
And errors cost the Pirates dearly last night. Brewers tied the game on an error with 2 outs. And ended up getting the winning run last night in an error-filled inning for the Pirates.
And it was Milledge's misplay on Friday night that allowed the Brewers to take the lead late. In both games of this series, the Brewers have had comeback wins. Yesterday, they trailed by 4 runs after 2.5 innings. Came back to tie it and ultimately win it in 11. Fielder was impressive last night for sure. He hit 2 home runs. His first one went into the bleachers in right field. And his second one, a 2-run home run in the 7th inning, was a 450-foot blast into deep right center. He actually hit it off the pickup truck in the Tundra territory.
And both of them coming off left-handed pitchers.
That one is hit well. Millage is back, and he's got it. He plays deep anyway. Fielder smokes one to left for an out. Tough break.
Yeah, tough to hit a ball over this outfield's head as deep as they play. They bunch in the outfield and they play deep. They'll give you the lines, but they want to take away the extra base hit. And Millage very deep, had to go back a couple of steps and made an easy catch. Kind of interesting shadows here today. The roof out in right field, partially closed, maybe helping the hitters a bit.
Okay, Maka has been talking about the lack of success during day games, especially here at Miller Park, and was vocal about it after the last Brewers loss against the Dodgers on Thursday. So maybe that does have something to do with it. Partially open roof.
Cutting down the shadows just a little bit. Now we're here in the day games.
You see the line of the shadow here. That if the roof's all the way open, you wouldn't see that particular line until maybe 5th, 6th inning. So by the time this game gets into the middle innings, the entire field will be in the shade. Powerball home run leaderboard for Milwaukee. Fielder leads away with 28. He hit 2 last night. Weeks, Hart, McGee, and Braun. Braun trying to join that foursome with a 20 homer season. He's 2 away. Certainly have to like the way Prince Fielder is swinging the bat here lately.
Yeah, 2 big boys really swinging the bat well. Ryan Braun going back through the middle into the opposite field very well in this series, and Prince starting to get hot with the home runs again.
Oh, and Casey McGee still chasing a milestone. He is within range of the Brewers franchise record for August RBIs, which is 32. McGee has 26.
Three more games, including today, in the month of August. August has 31 days, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. We will be wrapping up the month of August in Cincinnati. Still 3 games left in the month, Rock. Just to give you the numbers on Casey McGee. And I beg your pardon, he drove in a run last night, so his RBIs are now at 27 for the month of August. And you see his season. That's why they call it a season. You get hot, you get cold. But for the most part, McGee has swung a hot bat and a productive bat all season.
Yeah, just about a month, a little over a month of games, and just wasn't swinging the bat the way he would like. And oddly enough, that was about the time where Prince was expanding that strike zone. Remember Prince swinging the pitches over his head for a while, and that all was going on when Casey was struggling behind him in the batting order. Now that Casey's swinging a hot bat, Prince more willing to take that walk with men on base,
which has given McGee all of those RBI opportunities. Got some runners out there to pick up here in the first. 2 on, 2 out, and a 3-2 count. The runners will be on the move. There they go, and McGee takes ball 4. So he'll leave it up to Chris Dickerson with the bases loaded in the first inning. And this game picking up right where we left off last night.
Yeah, first 2 full innings took about a little over an hour last night. I mean, a lot of men on base. Both teams scoring runs in quick fashion last night.
Game times at Miller Park have been a little bit of a concern for Major League Baseball. Second only to Fenway Park, as a matter of fact. And Darryl Hamilton was and is in town today and was here yesterday, a representative of Major League Baseball, former Brewer, Hambone.
Good buddy of mine, and always good to see Darryl in the ballpark.
Dickerson with a base hit. England will score. Here comes Braun. He'll score. McGee on his way to third, and Chris Dickerson with a quick strike ties the game.
Well, here we go again. 2 runs in the top of the first, 2 runs in the bottom for the Brewers, and they're still swinging away. And not messing around. That's one of the issues for Charlie Morton. Too much of the plate with his pitches. It looked like a changeup. It stayed up in the zone. Interesting that he attacked early on it, got up in the zone and ripped it by Jones at first. Runs are cheap here in this series.
There's Darryl Hamilton. He's not in a suit, but he's technically a suit these days.
Yeah. He looks good in pink.
Yeah, he's, not a lot of guys can get away with that, but Hambone certainly can.
He's got a pretty good golf swing, too.
Which we witnessed firsthand
in
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Close play at first base. Earlier today, Darryl Hamilton having a chat with Ken Maka. Probably a number of topics on that slate today. Time of game is certainly one of them. I think, what happens on the field you can't control, but I think Major League Baseball would like to, and this is not picking on the Brewers, it's universal in baseball, but cut down on the trips to the mound by the catcher and quicken the pace between pitches. There are a lot of things that baseball is looking at to try to speed up games when they can.
There's only so much you can do with that, though. I mean, you'd like to quicken it up, but, the nature of the beast is that the game is different. The era of 2.5-hour games are gone. It's gone. The way that hitters approach their at bats, they take more pitches these days, and pitchers aren't as willing to throw the ball down the middle, which they shouldn't. Wasn't like that 20 years ago, where you had a 2.5-hour game. It's pretty much common, but if you limit trips to the mound like this, Ray Searage going out talking to Charlie Morton. The topic was brought up yesterday, the fact that Jonathan Lucroy and Chris Capuano had a number of meetings on the mound without the pitching coach, and you can't limit those so much. What's next? A hitter can only take 2 consecutive pitches and then he has to swing? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. Here's the list of the fastest game times this year, and it's not all about speed. We enjoy being here as long as it takes, but what I find interesting on that list, Chicago and Toronto are both on that list, and those are considered hitter-friendly ballparks.
Right.
The others are pitchers' parks. But it has a lot to do with the makeup of a team and the rhythm of a game, American League or National League.
I think the way the strike zone's called has more to do with game times than anything else. And that's all I have to say about that topic.
Yep. Oh, and they throws it away, Charlie Morton. Another run will score. McGee as Dickerson goes to second base. And the Brewers have the lead 3-2 in the first.
Charlie Morton, just one thing or another. The stuff that he has on his pitches, and too much of the plate, making mistakes like that, making a throw over there with Dickerson, although Dickerson will run a little bit. The guy at that plate's going to hurt you more in this situation with 2 outs and that runner at first. Errors have been a big problem for the Pirates in this series.
Errors and misplays. Millage was not charged with an error on Friday night. It was Escobar who hit one over his head that actually gave the Brewers the lead. Certainly a ball that should have been caught, though. And then last night, Pittsburgh committed 2 errors. Costly errors at that. And the error by Walker in the 11th set up Kane's at bat in the bottom of the 11th as the game winner. And there was an error in a wild pitch as part of a 3-run Brewers 7th inning last night that allowed Milwaukee to get back in it and tie the game. 2-2 to Escobar. chopper up the middle. Cedeno ranges over and throws him out. Nice play by Ronnie Cedeno to win the inning, but the Brewers get 3. And they lead at 3-2. The big hit, Chris Dickerson on the first pitch. Bangs one into right field for a 2 RBI single.
For the second frame before today's game. A couple of Timber Rattlers were honored today. It was Jake Odorizzi and it was also Adrian Rosario. They were both combined for a no-hitter last Tuesday against Cedar Rapids. And I'll start with Jake, who started the game and pitched 8 hitless innings. When you found out, or what point did you realize that you had a no-hitter going?
Probably about the 5th inning or so. It kind of set in that it was a no-hitter. And just kind of, I didn't focus on what, we didn't have any hits or anything like that. They didn't have any. You just kind of got to go out and keep pitching and do what you do. And if you think it a hit, so what? But it just kept going, and we ended up finishing out, which was great.
Well, your pitch count was at 117. You were being monitored closely, 120, so they didn't want to risk that. But this wasn't the first time this season that has happened to you. You had another no-hitter earlier this year, right?
Yeah, we almost completed a no-hitter about the second month of the season. There was 2 outs in the 9th, still no hits, and then they ended up getting a double with 2 outs in the 9th. But it was really close, and we kind of had the same feeling for this game. But we closed it out, which was even better than this time.
Well, Adrian came in to close out the game. He pitched a scoreless 9th inning. And was there a lot of pressure on you? Did you know that there was a no-hitter before you went to the mound?
Yeah, I know. I know when the pitching coach put me in the 9th inning. I know. Have a little pressure, because it's a little important for me he gave me the chance for throw the 9th inning.
Well, they both got it done, BA, and we always talk about pitching. Well, here's 2 faces of the future for Brewers pitching.
Yeah, what a great moment for those 2 guys. And I talked to them in the clubhouse before the game, and they've been here before because the Timber Rattlers play a game here at Miller Park, but to be among the big leaguers and to walk around, they had their ties on, it was a great moment for them, and I'm glad the Brewers honored them before the game. Jake Odorizzi, by the way, he's one of the top prospects in all of the Brewers minor league system. He is thought of as maybe one of the top pitching prospects. He's having a great year this year. 7-3 record and a 3.34 ERA for the T-Rats.
Yeah, Jerry Augustine, who helped us out here and on Brewers Live. He goes up to Appleton on occasion and has high praise for both of those 2 young men out there in the mound. Jerry, very good judge of pitching talent, of course. A pitcher in his career. So, the future looks bright for both of them.
Jake Odorizzi and Adrian Rosario. They threw a combined no-hitter last Tuesday at Cedar Rapids. I was checking Odorizzi's statistics. His strikeout numbers are impressive. He'd gone, I think, something like 115, 116 innings, 130 strikeouts, and only 37 walks. So at an early age, at a young age, he's only 20. He's commanding, he's striking out a lot of batters, and he's not walking a lot of hitters, and that's what you love to see.
Yeah, you get that, about 1-to-1 innings pitched to strikeout. You're considered to be a big strikeout pitcher, and he's way over that.
There's a base hit to right, and not a good start to this inning for Dave Bush. So a walk and a single. And 2 on quickly here in the second. Well, the pitchers somehow, some way have to settle this one down.
Now look at the location for Dave Bush. That pitch up about belt high. He just cannot get away with doing that. That was the issue that he had in his last outing against the Dodgers. Everything up in the zone. Millage able to fight it off and roll it into right field, but Dave's got to start getting the baseball down.
Well, what was impressive last night, Capuano struggled as the Brewers starter last night. Gave up 6 of the 7 runs the Pirates scored. But then Manny Parra came in, and he really changed the complexion of the game. He went 3 scoreless. The Brewers bullpen had to pick up 8 innings last night. They gave up just 1 run through the 8 innings. So it was an impressive job by the bullpen, and it allowed the Brewers to come back. A 4-run deficit was erased because the Brewers were able to keep the Pirates down on the other side of the ball. There's a bunt. And Bush will go to first, and the out is made. Dangerous play over there. Fielder able to hang on to the baseball, but he looks like he's shaken up a little bit.
I just don't get what Ronnie Cedeno's doing up there at the plate. He did that last night in a similar situation. Wasn't able to get the bunt down and then ended up striking out. I mean, here's a team over 40 games under 500. You got first and third, nobody out. What is he doing dropping down the bunt? The pitcher's coming up. Get a base hit and driving a run. Like Prince Fielder doing a nice job getting that hand out of the way. That could have been a disaster.
Yeah, you remember a Fielder tweaked his hand on the last road trip in St. Louis. Quite frankly, I forgot about it because he hasn't had any issues. He's been swinging the bat as well as he has all year, but it certainly stung that hand. That's a dangerous play for a first baseman. That's a similar play to what Derek Lee in Chicago had happen, and knocked him out.
Yep.
For about a month.
That's just bad baseball, though, dropping down a bunt there with the pitcher coming up. Don't get it. You don't expect that out of your veterans. Maybe a young kid going up there just trying to maybe bunt for a base hit, but back-to-back nights with a man at third base, less than 2 outs. Ronnie Cedeno tries to drop down a bunt. That's not a good play.
Well, been given a sacrifice on each occasion. Last night, Cedeno hit 7th, but today he's hitting 8th in front of that pitcher. Very curious. And Charlie Morton is not much of a threat at the plate. He's 0 for 11 this year, and is 5 for 70 in his major league career with a bat in his hands. That's a .071 batting average. Well, there's a way out of the inning for Dave Bush. And there's the first step. So 2 outs. Back to the top of the order.
And check out the location of the pitch, right down the middle and up around the belt. The curveball that Morton fouled off right before that strikeout was a hanger. So David got away with a couple of pitches up.
And now Bush will have to face one of the hottest Pirates at the plate, Jose Tabata. And again he swings at the first pitch. And that is going to get Bush and the Brewers out of the inning. 3-2 Milwaukee. We head to the bottom of the second.
heading to the bottom of the second inning. And follow the Brewers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010. That features play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Go to Brewers.com today for details.
Another great day in Milwaukee on a beautiful Sunday here. Just a few clouds in the sky. Got some shade now. The cloud cover has come in. It's easier on the hitters at this point of the day when there's some clouds around. And we've seen some offense already. 5 runs, 5 hits combined in an inning and a half. George Kottaras gets the call behind the plate today. Typically, George catches Randy Wolf. Kottaras getting the start with Dave Bush.
Luke Roy, another kid with a big day yesterday at the plate, a home run and a base hit.
Rewarded with a little pine. Leon Lorenzo Cain.
In all honesty, catchers don't mind getting the day game after a night game off. It is rather balmy down there in the field today. Although he's young, he can take it.
Probably has more to do with getting Kottaras some at-bats. A little more playing time. That's hit pretty well. Left field. Lasting's Millage going back, and that one's going to be off the base of the wall as George Kottaras goes to the opposite field for a double. And a good start for the Brewers in the second inning.
Another pitch up in the strike zone. Charlie Morton getting a lot of the play with his fastball. This has been the issue that he's had at the big league level. That pitch trying to get away from. He's got some good movement on it, but it's up and down the heart of the plate. It starts out down the middle, ends up outer third, and George does a nice job going right with it. And he gets his leadoff double. You know, when you talk to Dale about Morton, he says that his ball has some movement, but not sink. It will tail a little bit, which means it'll go away from a left-handed hitter, but not really go down a whole lot, which makes it even more important for him to start that pitch down in the zone, down around the knees, and he's not able to do it.
Morton has been hit hard so far. Even some of the outs have been hit hard. Now Bush trying to advance Kottaras. See, the Pirates have their corner infielders crashing in on Dave Bush.
Hey, you want to bunt the ball toward third base, make Alvarez lead the back.
And Bush swings away. The old Butcher Boy play, and it works to perfection. So he doesn't get credit for a sacrifice bunt, but he no doubt sacrifices his at-bat to advance Kottaras to third base. It's time now for our Carsoup.com email the booth question. And we got a question from Bob. And he wants to know, is Ricky Weeks in the running to win the MLB Comeback Player of the Year award? That's a good question, Bob.
I got to believe he's got to be in the conversation. There are some guys having some big years that have had good turnaround seasons. Tim Hudson in Atlanta. Scott Rowland with the Reds is having a big year after injury-riddled season last year. Who else can you think of?
Well, I'm wondering, a guy like Tim Hudson, if he could win the Cy Young and the Comeback Player of the Year award in the same year.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
He's having that kind of year for the Atlanta Braves.
Billy Wagner having a nice year.
Wagner in the same boat. He and Hudson with that ligament replacement surgery at the end of the 2008 season. But Weeks has certainly put up the numbers to warrant such an award. It's not an award that players really look for, because in order to come back, you have to have been somewhere you don't want to be.
You have to have been gone for a while. It's been back-to-back years, really, for Ricky. I mean, he had that back-to-back sheath surgery on both wrists.
In the air to right. Coming in is Young. And he dives and he makes the catch, and Kataris is not tagging at third base, so the Brewers don't get a run out of it.
Yeah, George started to tag up, but then he realized that as Delwin Young just continued to come in, he started creeping down the line. Not sure why. That ball bounces, you score anyway. Brad Fisher a little frustrated with the whole thing, and had he tagged up and the fact that Delwin Young had to dive, he probably would have been able to score. A little bit off the end of the bat. Ricky dumping it into right field. George started to tag up and then decided to take off. Not a good idea.
Well, so the Brewers miss an opportunity.
I mean, really the only time that you do not tag up in that situation is if the outfielder's camped under it. And if he continues to run hard that shallow, you got to tag up. Because chances are if the ball bounces, you're going to be able to score anyway.
And coming in as hard as he was, Young was going to have to make some kind of off-balance catch, whether it was on his feet or a dive. Well, hindsight, it's easy to see it. Kataris didn't see it right away, he and Brad Fisher. And he's still standing at third. Englert can pick him up here with a base hit. Joe Englert this year as a pinch hitter, a .352 batting average. But outside of pinch hit appearance, his batting average at .226. That counts his base hit his last time up.
Yeah, pressure's on now. Joe got to hit his first time up. He can relax a little bit. You know, a guy that doesn't get many starts, that's always an important thing. What am I going to do my first couple of at-bats? Jeff Srill always talked about that. You got to hit your first time up. Everything, all your at-bats after that is gravy. You're very relaxed. You don't feel that pressure to get that knock. Nobody wants to go through an offer. Get it out of the way early.
Especially when your starts come few and far between, as they do for Joe Englert. And a swing and a miss, so Morton strikes out Englert. The Brewers let an opportunity go by to get a run. 3-2 Milwaukee. We head to the third. Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And you can go to foxsportswisconsin.com to connect on all things local. Checking on the Brewers, Bob Brainerd posting his blogs on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Some exclusive interviews as well. Delwin Young leads off this third inning. The Pirates got the first 2 on in the second inning, could not score them. So both teams cashed in the first, and both teams missed out on opportunities in the second. Now, Delwin Young's the Pirates version of Joe England for the Brewers. He's their best pinch hitter and gets occasional starts. That one's into left center, and Dickerson will run it down for out number 1. Now Bush could use a quick inning. He's already thrown 37 pitches, and he's labored a little bit, certainly fighting command, and not really command outside the strike zone. Sometimes you can have poor command inside the strike zone as well.
Yeah, getting pitches up too much of the plate. That was a nice pitch by Bush. He took a little bit off on Young on a 3-1 count and had him out in front.
And here's Neil Walker. Brewers pitcher still trying to solve the riddle of Walker. Walker's a switch hitter. He was a star quarterback in high school from the Pittsburgh area, as a matter of fact, and a much anticipated arrival to the Pirates for Neil Walker earlier this season. Looks like he's going to be a good player. They weren't sure what position he was going to play. Kind of bounced him all over, outfield, infield. He settled in at second base, and outside the error last night in the 11th inning, he's played a very good second base for the Pirates this season.
Yeah, but the problems the Pirates have had over the years scoring runs, the way he swings the bat, they'll find a spot for him, that's for sure.
Bush gets him out. Finally. 2 gone now in the third for Dave Bush.
Of course, second base is not typically a spot where you kind of just dump a guy that can hit. That's more of a specialized type position. And some would argue that that's the toughest position in the infield because of you turning the double play. You're kind of blind with that runner coming at you.
Yeah, there has to be an element of fearlessness when you play second base. As a matter of fact, remember last year when Ricky Weeks went down with an injury, was lost for the season, the Brewers switched Escobar to second base in AAA to see if he could play the position, handle the position. You know what a great fielder Escobar is. But he was a different player at second base. Don Money, who is his manager, said this guy can't play second. He's not ready for second base. He's a shortstop.
And there's only so many Jim Gantners out there. Willie Randolph will tell you how tough it is to play second base. And nobody tougher out there than Ricky. And another pitch up in the strike zone, and Garrett Jones swings right through it.
No, it's not to say that Escobar is not tough by any stretch. It's just when you've played shortstop your entire life, moving to second base is an unusual move, especially for a guy like Escobar, who's such a natural shortstop. Well, that didn't miss by much.
I think it was a good idea keeping him short. Actually, he's not bad over there.
Yeah.
Tough pitch to take.
Shortstops like Escobar don't come around very often. That's why he's there, and that's why the trade was made this offseason, and you're starting to see some of the fruits of that decision. He's been good defensively all year, but his bat is starting to heat up since the All-Star break. Escobar. And Bush walks Garrett Jones. So right on the cusp of a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bush lets Jones get away, and now he'll deal with Pedro Alvarez. Now, the way the game was going yesterday, you figured when the bullpen phone rang the relievers would be heading for cover. But it was the bullpen that settled the game down yesterday after the shaky start.
I think if both teams could have had 4 mounds out there in the bullpen, they would have all been used.
That's right.
Boy, guys up just about every inning, up and down. Everybody but Zach Braddock and Cameron Lowe used for the Brewers. Evan Meek and Justin Thomas, the only 2 that weren't used. Of course, I mean Cameron Lowe.
And Lowe ended up being in the emergency role last night. He pitched the 11th and got the win after Axford and after Hoffman. And, you know, you say that Braddock didn't pitch in the game, but he was still up throwing. He completely warmed up last night. So everybody was active in the bullpen last night. And pitching coaches and bullpen coaches keep as close of an eye on how many pitches are thrown in the bullpen leading up to a game than what happens during a game.
Those count. I mean, the arm can't determine whether it's in the bullpen or in the game. It's still wear and tear. And typically, if a manager, pitching coach, if you get a guy up twice and don't use him, that's it for the night, unless it's an emergency situation.
And it almost got to that last night, but thanks to Lorenzo Cain, they finished it up as Bush strikes out Alvarez. Made him chase a high fastball, and a scoreless inning for Dave Bush. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, will bat when we continue. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The best Brewer storyline so far this year. We wrap up the voting today. W for Weeks, X for Corey Hart, Y for Casey McGee, and Z for John Axford. So who's had the best season, the best storyline, according to you? John Axford, I believe, at last check, was leading the race. I'm not sure what he wins, but we'll come up with something. Maybe an evening with Telly Hughes in Cincinnati.
A signed Brewer jersey, perhaps?
A signed Fox Sports Wisconsin golf shirt.
There you go.
Huh? Players love that.
Game used golf shirt.
Well, speaking of signed items, yesterday Ryan Braun, it's a nice moment before the game. That's why you love hanging around the batting cage before the games. He had a conversation with a couple of kids who were out, and this kid named Jack was down on the field, and Braun signed a couple of gloves for him. His batting gloves that he used during BP. He signed them and handed them to the young man. Boy, you talk about making a kid's day right there.
Yeah. if being down on the field watching batting practice isn't enough.
Man. And then to have Braun come over and
yeah,
talk to him. And I like to mention stories like that. You know, guys, they do it discreetly, but I just happened to be on the field yesterday when he did that and thought that was a cool moment. Backhanded by Cedeno. A long throw is high. Braun safe.
Yeah, that's got to be a base hit. Well, not much Cedeno could do. He had to get rid of it quickly. It was on line, but a little bit high. And Ryan Braun now 2 for 2. It was a hanging curveball. A lot of pitches up in the strike zone by both pitchers so far today. And Braun able to get it in the hole, and not much of an opportunity to get a good throw off for Cedeno. Did the best he could.
So Braun now with 13 hits on the homestand. He's having a great homestand. Approaching 400. And another multi-hit game for Ryan Braun. He's second in the National League in that category as well. Gives Fielder a chance with a man on. Prince hit one hard his last time up. He hit a rocket to left field. And he hit a couple hard last night. Powerball home run number 28. When it was all said and done, that was his first home run. That was number 27. This was number 28 of the year. And look where this one hit. Right off the back tire of the pickup truck in deep right center, over 450 feet.
Yep, Zach Duke gave him a fastball, and Brian Burris a slider right down the middle of the plate. And Prince didn't miss it. 28 home runs now for Prince.
All three of Fielder's hits last night came against left-handed pitching. And if not for that rear tire of that pickup truck, that ball had a chance to actually go out of the entire stadium. That's a good seat out there in the Tundra territory, by the way.
Yeah.
We like showing them out there that they'll stand up, they'll sit back down. Stand up, sit back down. It's like going to Mass. Up, down, up, down. They have monitors in front of them. Watch this. They'll stand up. Watch. See? Every time. Then you take it off, then they sit back down.
You've got some power, don't you?
Now watch this. See?
How do you do that?
Look, there they go again.
That's pretty good.
Eventually, Michael Odino, our director, will wear them out. Yeah, there they go again. Yeah, just having a fun. We're starting our own wave with Michael Odino and Lindsey Gresham. Nice going in the truck. Fielder retired, 1 out. Here's Casey McGee with 1 away. He walked and scored in the first inning. He scored on an error by Morton, throwing error on a pickoff attempt. It's hard to button up your jersey with batting gloves on, full of pine tar.
All thumbs. It's hard to do anything with pine tar except for hold a bat.
That's right. Casey's still trying to get that thing buttoned.
But nothing better. They should bottle that.
It ought to be a pine tar smell, like a perfume, you know, like a cologne.
It'd be hard to spray out, though.
The smells of the ballpark.
That's one of the best things about going to spring training. You know, a long, cold winter here in Wisconsin. You go down to Arizona, check out spring training, and you smell the pine tar as soon as you get on the field. It's a kind of a rite of summer.
He's a pine tar guy. A lot of guys use the stick, but you see the pine tar on his bat. There's a number of options for your major league hitter to get some tackiness on that bat.
you notice most of the pine tar is not on the handle where he holds it. What he actually does is he greases up that bat up there and just taps his hands, when he needs a little bit of stickum. The tools of the trade, the on deck circle right there.
The little sticky stick doesn't have that
tiger stick
smell.
They call it.
Tiger stick.
Tiger stick right there.
There it is. Doesn't appeal to the senses like pine tar. Hit and run is on. Braun somehow avoided the baseball. I'm not even sure he knew it was there. And McGee is on with a base hit. Boy, Ryan Braun almost ran right into that baseball.
I mean, nobody better on the Brewers at doing that than Casey McGee. Check it out. Watch where the pitch is. It's actually up and in, able to pull the hands in. He sees Ryan going and hits that ball into the vacated hole over there where Neil Walker was, and a base hit. That is a beautiful play when it's done well. A hit and run.
Kind of makes you think that Braun was perhaps in a straight steal situation. He did not look back at home plate. And that ball almost clipped his ankles, which would have been immediately a dead ball and an out for the Brewers. Instead, it's first and third, one away, and here's Chris Dickerson. And a strike to Dickerson. He's starting to settle in as a Brewer now, coming over from the Reds in that trade for Jim Edmonds. All 4 of his RBIs this year in the major leagues have come as a Brewer. Dickerson drove in a pair with a single in the first.
A lot of times if you call a hit and run, the hitter will, or the runner will take off and look in to see where the baseball is. You can see Brawny has the head down and almost got clipped on that left heel. So Brawny might have taken off. Didn't have that great of a jump, but perfectly executed by Casey McGee.
I didn't see what the middle infielders were doing either. It looked like Braun not looking back to us. Dickerson rolls one to first, and the only play is first, and that's going to get a run home. So Braun scores, and it's an RBI for Chris Dickerson, who's driven in 3 today, and it's 4-2 Milwaukee.
That good base running instincts by Brawny, taking off on the ground. You take off first and third. Got a good jump and scored without a throw. So 3 RBIs for the Brewers center fielder today.
Now 4-2 Brewers. A lot of offense early, which is unusual for day games typically. And the Brewers are swinging the bats here this afternoon. 4 runs on 6 hits. That skips away from Dalmot McGee on his way to third base. Now for more on the roof situation, remember we talked about the long shadows here. Let's check in with Craig Cashon, who's been doing a little work in the press box.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of work. So's Adam McKelvey of Brewers.com. He actually made it up to Doug Melvin and Gord Ash's contact with them and said Ken Mock actually came up with the idea to move that rooftop over a little bit. Kind of as a test run, had to get it cleared through the umpires, though. And they said once that roof is moved the one time before the game, it's got to stay in that position. So you can't have a rotating mechanical cloud, if you will. So that's the situation. Of course, it can close if it rains later, but of course, none of that's going to go on. So Ken Maka's test run, that's the story.
So the roof is just partially open. It's not stuck. It's partially open. It is 2 levels open.
And you know what? You know why the umpires say if you start it that way, you can't move it, because you know what? The Brewers just close it when the Pirates score.
Yeah, and there you see the shadow line is all the way out in the outfield. Now, normally this time of day, that line is right over the pitcher's mound.
Yep, right over the pitcher's mound, and having a tough time. But you know what about the shadows?
As Escobar delivers a base hit. And another run is in for Milwaukee. Escobar drives in his 37th run, and it's 5-2 Brewers.
You would think after all these years, 10 years at Miller Park, that those shadows in day games would actually be an advantage to the Brewers because they're used to it. But it certainly hasn't been the case. Brewers have not fared all that well here at Miller Park during day games. Another hanging curveball by Charlie Morton, and Escobar able to hit it hard into left field. So another mistake, a wild pitch. Cost the Pirates a run. Every time they seem to make a mistake, it costs them.
Right, here's George Kottaras now. Well, if nothing else, I think, it gives a manager a chance to stand up for his players and say, look, let me try to do something about it.
I don't think anything's wrong with it. Why not? I mean, make it a little bit easier for your offense. Of course, your pitchers aren't very happy with you. Somebody's always going to be upset at the manager, right?
That's right.
Dave Bush saying, what do you mean?
Open that thing up.
I like the shadows. What are you doing, Mock? Of course, you have one pitcher and all those position players, so I guess he'd rather not get ganged up on.
Well, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be like that for the next home game after the way the Brewers have started this one out. George Kottaras takes one down and in.
But, sometimes little idiosyncrasies in certain ballparks, like the sun setting over third base in Colorado would perhaps be an advantage for the home team because, the first baseman's more used to it. Of course, this year we saw Todd Helton lose a ball in the sun. Prince Fielder did not, but you would think, I'm just saying that, after all these years, that might be a bit of a home field advantage for Milwaukee.
Now there are 13 games remaining here at Miller Park this year. 3 of those are day games. And whether it's true or not, a lot of the Brewers hitters think it's true, which makes it true.
Perception's reality.
If it's tougher to see in their minds. And guys like Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun have been the most vocal about it. But it hasn't seemed to affect the opposition all that much. And that's the other part of the story. At any rate, a lot of people were involved to bring that roof out 2 clicks. And the Brewers have 5 runs and 7 hits to the first 3 innings. Runner goes. Escobar, throw to second, way late. Escobar with a stolen base.
And the troubles continue for Ryan Doumit trying to throw out base runners. Decent lead and a very good jump. Doumit a little bit slow getting rid of it. And Escobar in there safely.
10th steal for Escobar. He's really coming on fast here with the stolen bases. Hitting 8th most of the season and really didn't have a chance to run. Two and two to Kottaras. In the right, that is going to fall. A base hit. Here comes Escobar. Another 2-out hit. And it's 6-2 Brewers. And Kottaras' success against the Pirates continues.
A lot of very hittable pitches by Charlie Morton. Just can't get the baseball down in the strike zone. And when you do that, hitters don't have to hit them all that well. You elevate the pitch for them. See where that slider ends up? About mid-thigh, and those are very hittable pitches. Even with the big break on it. Delwyn Young, inexperienced out there in the outfield. Not able to make the throw into home plate.
The stolen base pays off for the Brewers. Here's Dave Bush with 2 away. How about George Kottaras against the Pirates this season?
4 home runs, yeah.
4 of his 9. And 8 of his 24 RBIs against Pittsburgh in 8 games. That's big damage. And 2 hits today for Kottaras.
Nothing more satisfying for a guy that doesn't play a whole lot to come up with 2 hits in his first 2 times up and driving a run. You feel like you're part of things.
And you speak with authority on that subject.
Everything but the 2 hits in the first 2 times up.
Good way to stay cool on a hot day in the sun. Kind of nice in the shade, but it is a little balmy in the sun as Bush strikes out. Inning over, but the Brewers score 3 more times. The second 3-run inning of this game, and it's 6-2 Brewers. Qatar's with a couple of those hits.
Park beginning when the gates open through the 4th inning of every Brewers home game. At the top of the 6th inning, the winning ticket will be announced, and a lucky fan will take home half of the net proceeds from the day's raffle ticket sales. To date, the biggest winning pot has been over $9,500, and the Brewers Community Foundation has raised over $650,000, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks. They're doing great work raising money for the various charities the Brewers support and the Brewers Community Foundation. Dave Bush back on the mound enjoying a 4-run lead against the Pirates. Brewers offense has been intact here today. 6 runs on 8 hits already. Bush coming off a scoreless 3rd inning, had back-to-back scoreless innings after surrendering a 2-run homer to Neil Walker in the 1st. Ryan Doumit, Lastings Milledge, and Ronnie Cedeno. First 3 up for the Pirates. That one's into right and well hit, and Doumit will watch it go. A home run for Ryan Doumit. 6-3 Brewers.
Yeah, we were talking about George Kottaras and his success against the Pirates. How about Doumit against the Brewers? He's hit a number of home runs against the Crew, a couple of them off Trevor Hoffman earlier this year. He can swing the bat. He's got some pop in that bat. Pirates trying to figure out where to put him defensively. There's that fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Dave Bush not able to get away with it. Doumit hits it hard.
Doumit with his 4th home run of the year against Milwaukee. 4 of his 11 this season coming against the Brewers. Well, this game has a feel to it, much like last night. Runs and hits have been easy to come by. Brewers looking for the sweep of the Pirates today and trying to go 13-5 for the season series as Millage pops it up. Who wants it? Kataris makes the call and the catch. Good job by the Brewers catcher. And the first out of the inning.
Yeah, don't miss the Miller Lite Beer Pen. Every Friday night home game, fans 21 and older can get a Miller Lite Beer Pen ticket and a free Beer Pen t-shirt for only $20. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Ronnie Cedeno takes strike one. A lot of baseball in progress already. East Coast games are drifting toward the end of their games right now. The Brewers will be headed to Cincinnati after this game. The Reds are currently home against the Cubs. Cubs won last night. Cincinnati leads today 5-3 in the 8th. Again, Kataris. Much easier play. 2 outs. Back-to-back pop-ups delivered by Dave Bush. Our AT&T trivia question this afternoon: who holds the Brewers franchise record for most complete games in a single season? Well, today is the CC Sabathia bobblehead day, courtesy of Piggly Wiggly and Palermo's Pizza. And of course, CC Sabathia with a number of complete games when he was with the Brewers for that brief time.
Yeah, the big one, the last day of the season, and the Brewers ended up getting to the postseason. Certainly, CC leads the Brewers in complete games on 3 days rest.
No kidding.
Did that quite a bit in 08.
And there was so much concern that Sabathia, going into his free agent season, pitching that much would hinder him at some point. And as Morton strikes out, bottom line is, I think he's doing all right. 6-3 Brewers. We're on our way to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Happened in the first inning. Neil Walker, a 2-run pop in the first inning off Dave Bush, and then later Ryan Domick connects for his 11th. That happened in the 4th inning, but the Brewers have gotten on the board thanks to Chris Dickerson. He's doing the job off the bench in a starting role here this afternoon. 3 RBIs already on the day, and the Brewers now will take this lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. Brian and Bill.
All right, Craig, thank you. You see the Cousin Subs game reset, 6-3 Milwaukee. The Pirates have hit 5 home runs in this series, but have not won a game in this series. 2 comeback wins for the Brew Crew in the first 2 games. And today they try to make it a clean sweep of Pittsburgh. And they try to make it a winning homestand. Ricky Weeks is hit by a pitch. So Charlie Morton comes inside. He drills Weeks. That has been a familiar theme this year for the Brewers, and their hit by pitch story continues.
Number 68 on the season, far and away leading all of baseball in that category. And Ricky, tough time getting out of the way. That was a glancing blow. That's not going to hurt Ricky.
Weeks leads the National League with 23 hit by pitches, as Prince Fielder is second on that list. To have two players with more than 20 occasions being hit by a pitch, it's just incredible. I'm not sure it's ever happened in the game of baseball.
Yeah, 68 hit batters. Cincinnati Reds second on the list with 49. That should be an interesting series coming up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A lot of hit batters, you would think. The fewest in baseball, fewest in the National League anyway. The Pittsburgh Pirates, the Houston Astros have only been hit by 25 pitches. And then the Pirates.
Houston's been quite a story here lately. They swept the Phillies in a 4-game series. And to start play today, the Astros are just 2 games behind the Brewers. After that dismal start, they're starting to play better, and that's after they traded away some of their key figures, Lance Berkman and Roy Oswalt.
A little bit of shot of youth into that lineup. You get some guys, playing for some jobs next year, and all of a sudden, Brad Mills and his Astros are starting to make some noise playing spoilers.
Houston trails the Mets today 5-1 in the 8th inning. Cubs have tied it against Cincinnati. That game's all even at 5 in the bottom of the 8th. Daniel McCutchen preparing in the Pirate bullpen. Been a rough day for Charlie Morton so far. 6 runs on 8 hits. He's hit a batter. The Brewers have 4 RBIs with 2 outs in this game. Dickerson had a 2-out RBI single. And then Escobar and Kataris with RBI hits with 2 away last inning. England, little flare into left. Millage will make the catch. First out of the inning. AT&T Trivia today. Who holds the Brewers franchise record for most complete games in a single season? And the answer is Mike Caldwell. 23 finishers in 1978. You won't see that again. Not in Brewers franchise history. That was a different era back then.
And look at that. 22-9. He actually had a complete game. In a loss, apparently. But a 236 earned run down. Look at the inning totals. Almost 300 innings. He was something else. Mike Caldwell.
What a year that was.
You talk about a sinking fastball. Mike Caldwell, when I caught him back in '83. Wow. I said, is this for real?
Well, that year in '78, he was a 22-game winner. Led all of baseball in complete games. And finished second in the Cy Young Award voting that season. Ron Guidry won the Cy Young that year. Guidry got all of the first place votes that season. That was the year Guidry won 25 games and had an ERA of 1.74. He only completed 16 games, though, did Ron Guidry.
Yeah, that's all.
Braun fouls it away. Weeks was on the move. Well, we were thinking about complete games today because obviously the CC Sabathia bobblehead day, but how impressive Sabathia was when he came over from the Indians. He had 3 complete games as an Indian that year in 08. He had 7 with the Brewers from July 7th to the end of the season. So 10 that year. That's a lot of complete games, but nowhere near Mike Caldwell's franchise record of 23. Wasn't for a lack of effort.
Yeah. When you put that in perspective, the Philadelphia Phillies this year, they have 12 complete games. How many of those are Roy Halladay? 8 or 9?
I believe Halladay, I believe 9 is right.
Next closest, the Cardinals with 6. Actually, no, the Mets have 7. "23 complete games. Goodness gracious.
Halladay has 8. Wainwright with 5. Halladay leads the league. Wainwright is second in the league. And you think about the 1978 Brewers, you know, in the pitching and Mike Caldwell, and it reminded me that the Brewers lost a great member of their baseball family, and baseball lost a great member of its family as well. Cal McClish passed away last Thursday. He was the Brewers pitching coach in '78.
1976 to 1982, Cal McClish, a coach for the Brewers, and he will be missed. Can't tell you how many text messages I've received from guys that, you know, pitched and players. Jerry Augustine, very close with Cal McClish. Got a text message today or a couple of days ago from Chris Bazio. Calvin Coolidge, Julius Caesar.
That's it.
Tuskahoma McClish. That was his given name.
That's it. He was a great guy. I got to know him when he was a roving instructor with the Seattle Mariners. And he was still in uniform, you know, into his 80s.
1959, he was an all-star. He was 19-8 that year, Cal McClish.
Stories among stories.
Yeah, wonderful human being, Cal McClish. He will be missed.
Yeah, he was the Brewers pitching coach kind of through some golden years there, as Milwaukee started to get good on the field after Bud Selig brought the franchise from Seattle to Milwaukee in 1970. It took a little while to. That was an expansion franchise as it was, the Pilots of 1969. You know, you start getting into the late 70s, early 80s.
16 years he was with the team. 76 to 82. Died in Oklahoma.
Braun rips one deep left field, and it is gone. Ryan Braun with a 2-run homer. And look at that reaction from Braun. That one had to feel good as he delivers a 2-run shot. His 19th of the year, his 3rd hit of the ball game, and look who's heating up at the plate.
Another hanging breaking pitch. Charlie Morton has not been able to get a pitch down in the strike zone today, and the Brewers all over him. Slider right down the middle, up around the belt, and Ryan Braun gets the head out, and the only question was it going to be high enough, able to sneak it over that left field fence, a line drive bullet. And you're right, Ryan Braun is swinging the bat right now as well as he has all year.
Well, So John Russell is out, and he will make a pitching change. Charlie Morton is done. The Brewers have 8 runs on the board. We'll take a timeout. Inning. And a new pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Daniel McCutchen, out of the Pittsburgh bullpen.
A 2-5 record, an ERA just under 6, and his 18th appearance here this afternoon. McCutchen has made 8 starts for the Pirates. Another short start by a Pittsburgh starting pitcher in this series.
Seemed like a good idea when the day started. I don't know about now. Fielder at the plate. So Ryan Braun now with 19 home runs this season. And 3 more hits today. Braun's batting average starting to push 300 once again. 19 homers, 79 RBIs for Ryan Braun. And now hitting .424 on the homestand is Braun with 3 homers and 11 RBIs.
It all started when Ryan started to drive the ball to the opposite field. His first 3 hits in this series all coming to right field. He got a base hit to center today and got a pitch to pull his last time up.
Fielder gets on top of one, and that is going to be caught by center fielder Jose Tabata. That was a delayed call by Bill Miller. He wanted to make sure Tabata secured the baseball after the slide. And Fielder again is robbed. He could easily have 2 hits in this game.
Yeah, he tomahawks a pitch up in the strike zone. Almost had to jump to hit this one and centered on it. Tabata got a good jump on it. Line drive right at him and just barely able to keep it in the webbing.
Boy, it kind of had a look to it like it bounced. Tabata playing so deep in center field. And I'm not sure it didn't hit the ground first. Let's take another look here. Yeah, that's a base hit. His glove was not under that baseball. A base hit taken away. Sometimes you'll see a ball bounce, but the outfielder will have his glove between the baseball and the grass. It'll actually bounce inside the glove.
Yeah, that's what second base umpire Bill Miller thought happened. awfully difficult to see unless you have a slow motion replay like we do. So you think that's a reviewable play?
Absolutely, would have been.
That's replay.
Would have been fixed in a blink.
And nobody on, or does it have to be like a game-winning situation?
No, you just take a look.
Just call timeout. You know, the umpire go running in the dugout,
Right.
take a look at it.
He raises a flag in the press box, flashes the lighthouse, and he changes it. And the fielder goes back to first, and we're moving on.
Boy, that would be fun.
I could actually serve that role for Major League Baseball. I think the play-by-play announcers could actually fill that.
You are certainly championing that cause.
I'm just saying.
You and I couldn't be any further away from center on that one.
We don't disagree on much.
Far as you
facial
know.
hair and replay rule.
That's right. I'm not a fan.
But
hey, if Prince Fielder can get a base hit out of this.
See, that's simple to call via replay, but this is what Bill Miller sees in real time.
Right.
And that's a tough call in real time. I think, the umpires that I've heard from say they would appreciate and welcome some level of protection on calls like that. You go ahead and make your call, and if it's overturned, it's overturned. Doesn't make you a bad umpire. Umpires, at the end of the day, they want to get it right. They want to get it right all the time. And they do get most of them right. As Dickerson is frustrated about one that got away. Ball and 2 strikes on Chris Dickerson. Still not buying it, are you?
I know one thing. I would not want to have an English grammar expert, listen to everything I'm saying up here and have me change.
Well, you do, actually.
That would. You're the expert on that too, right?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, no. We have plenty of fans out there who regularly offer their opinions.
That's okay.
And plenty of replay to.
I would certainly have to re-say just about everything throughout the night.
I think you're making it too much of a human effect, Rock. You make the call, you get it right. If it happens to be changed, big deal. You're not saying Bill Miller's a bad guy. You're just saying he missed a call.
Why is Darryl Hamilton here again? Remind me. Time of game?
Time of game.
Okay.
See, my argument to that is you're going to eliminate arguments. Now, there's no argument here, of course. Not in this particular case, but a lot of times there are long arguments.
Maybe we should get
Darryl Hamilton's gum matches his shirt.
Maybe we should get Hambone on. You think he might want to
that
weigh
has
in?
to go through like 6 or 7 channels.
Yeah, you're right.
To make that happen. You got to put in an official request and offer up some leverage. Final numbers on Charlie Morton: 3 1/3, 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned.
They came in with an 0-6 record and a 12.21 ERA on the road. That will go up to over 13. So he is having a tough time on the road, as have all the Pirates this year on the road. Is that grammatically correct?
Sure, works for me. No, I think you're doing a good job. No replay necessary for Bill Schroeder.
Not on that sentence anyway.
Difference being what you say up here doesn't affect the outcome of the game, except during no-hitters.
Can't mention those.
I can already I can already feel the letters coming. Escobar fouls one away. Eight to 3 Brewers, bottom of the 4th inning. Milwaukee scored in every inning but the 2nd. On your feet. I'm telling you, it works every time.
Yeah.
Escobar into left. And it's going to be caught by Millage. Nice play out there in left field. Escobar hits it hard but is out. And Ryan Braun delivers home run number 19. We'll give you some historical perspective on Braun's home runs in his career when we come back.
Over the Pirates 8-3. Ryan Braun just belted his 19th home run of the season. And take a look at what he's been able to do the first 4 seasons of his major league career. He is ranked at one of amongst the leaders of baseball all-time greats. He has 122 home runs in his first 4 seasons, as you see the list. And that's quite an impressive list, Brian and Bill.
Yes, it is. 122 home runs puts him inside the top 10 in Major League history, and some of the names on that list just blow you away. And it's so impressive to see what Braun has been able to do so early in his career. And it needs to be brought up that Braun was in the minor leagues the first 6 weeks of 2007 in his rookie season.
Well, you look at that list, except for the active players, everyone on that list is a Hall of Famer.
Braun hit 12 home runs in AAA in the first 6 weeks of the 2007 season. Not to say that would translate to 12 Major League home runs, but you figure, you know, he could have added to that total.
Add a few, maybe 5 or 6, right?
Some kind of hitter, and he is really swinging a hot bat right now and trying to get those numbers back to a more Braun-like season.
Every time we see lists like that, you know, the first 3, first 4, Mark Teixeira on that list, he doesn't really get credit for the kind of career he's had at the plate. Mark Teixeira, switch hitter, and
a spectacular defender as well. Gold Glover. That's the other part of his game.
The other guys on that list, I mean, everybody's heard about him, but Teixeira, he takes a back seat to none of them.
Casey McGee makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory. Tamata retired. By the way, Mark Teixeira out of the lineup today. Yankees playing the Chicago White Sox. Teixeira's got a thumb injury. Well, Neil Walker back in the first inning went deep One of 5 home runs for the Pittsburgh Pirates in this series so far.
Good-looking young hitter. And one of a number of young hitters that the Pirates have showcased since the All-Star game. And you've got some hitters that have some promise, but as a lot of teams, still looking for some young pitching.
I was talking to Dick Gross about pitching before the game. Brewers super scout, assistant to Doug Melvin, one of the great scouts of all time. This guy has some stories. Tough to acquire for sure, as Bush gets through the 5th inning quickly. That's what he needed. A 1-2-3 inning, 8-3 Milwaukee. And scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by GMC. We are professional grade. Back at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Were you saying something, Rob?
I'm supposed to read a promo here. Today's Tavern of the Game winner. How about this one? Waz's Polish Pickle from Pulaski. If the Tavern calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours, Waz's Polish Pickle. You can't say that enough. You got to be careful with that one.
The Polish Pickle.
The Polish Pickle in Pulaski. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller. Here's to the Polish Pickle. This was the giveaway yesterday.
Yeah, it's nice.
The Miller Lite bottle, the Vortex bottle.
I have never seen a grown man so fired up about a bobble bottle in my entire life.
You know, I've never been a collector of bobbleheads, but this goes well now. This goes well in the bar.
What about this one?
That's a good one too. Real nice. It'd be better this way. Well done. Good job. Oh boy! Well, did he deserve not that for?
He did not deserve that.
The way he did. The way he did that hum. Deserve that and more.
We could use replay up here.
I could have used my grammar expert there. All right.
Right off the glove of McCutchen. And Cedeno makes a nice play. Dave Bush thrown out. 1-6-3 on the putout. The Polish Pickle.
Waz's Polish Pickle in Pulaski.
That's very illiterate.
You gotta be careful with that. You can't pop your peas when you say that.
A lot of fans ask why CC Sabathia got a bobblehead. He was only in Milwaukee for half a season. And the reason is this is the season the Brewers are celebrating the 40th anniversary. And they had one bobblehead from each decade the Brewers were here. Kind of the signature moment or player. And Cecil Cooper has been honored with a bobblehead. His great moment, the base hit and RBI.
Got the Brewers to the World Series in '82.
It's the ALCS, and it's the Angels. So that's why. So Sabathia, you'd have to say the signature moment of the 2000s, the decade of the 2000s, either Braun's home run that won the game or the Sabathia complete game. As Weeks strikes out, inning is over, and we are headed to the 6th. 8-3 Brewers. Say a reminder, you can join the Milwaukee Bucks, their players, alumni, and coaches on Monday, September 20th at Ozaki Country Club for the Milwaukee Bucks Golf Tournament to benefit cystic fibrosis. It's an 18-hole scramble. It begins at noon. There's a post-golf dinner reception and silent auction as well. And Bucks GM John Hammond will be there for a Q&A. You can go to foxsportswisconsin.com, click on the events banner for complete details. Bucks will be cranking it up pretty soon here after a playoff season a year ago. Dave Bush is through 5 innings. He's given up 3 runs, making a run at his 7th win of the season. His offense has given him plenty of support today as Jones lines one to left, a base hit. Garrett Jones with his first hit. It's only his 2nd hit of the series, as a matter of fact.
Pitch by Bush. He tried to get away from Jones, but left a little bit out over the plate. A little bit above the knees. Not a bad pitch for Bushy, but a very good piece of hitting by Garrett Jones, taking it to left field.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. Just checking some other scores around the league. The Atlanta Braves are trailing big to the Marlins today. Bottom of the 8th. Braves have really hit a wall here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they snapped a 4-game losing streak last night.
Well, Florida right back at it. They lead 6-1 today in the bottom of the 8th.
Atlanta Braves have the best home record in all of baseball. 45-18 this year in Atlanta. Wow.
Trying to keep pace ahead of the Phillies. Philadelphia started the day 2 back. They've won back-to-back games in San Diego, and they'll be underway shortly in San Diego. Phillies and the Padres, a matchup of some playoff hopefuls. Alvarez leans out, pulls that one foul down the right field line. Elsewhere, the Reds gave up a lead to the Cubs. The Cubs tied it in the 8th, but then Cincinnati scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they beat the Cubs 7-5. That one's just gone final. Jay Bruce hit his 17th homer. Francisco Cordero, the Reds closer, his 35th save of the season. Brewers will play the Reds tomorrow. So Cincinnati, a 4-game lead to begin the day over the Cardinals. St. Louis is trailing the Nationals 4-1 in the 9th. They're down to their last inning. Cardinals have struggled as well. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Pirates prior to this series.
Just having a tough time coming up with offense other than Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday. You can't rely on just 2 hitters all year. Of course, if one of them's Albert, you can come close.
Trying to get Colby Rasmus back and healthy. Some leg injury. Or leg injuries. Calf and a quad. Right off the end of the bat, got a chance for 2 here. Weeks, Escobar. Easy double play. 4-6-3, nicely turned at the bat. And 2 outs with 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, a little cue shot off the end of the bat. A good off-speed pitch on the 2-2 count. Alvarez way out in front, and you could not ask for an easier double play than that. Breaking ball, Alvarez out in front of it. And Alcides Escobar has all day to turn the double play.
Right on the money, a strike to Fielder. Well, first baseman loved those throws from the strong arms, and the Brewers have strong arms all across their infield. None stronger than Escobar, who gives it that little finishing kick to his throws. He's a lot like what J.J. Hardy had, and he probably learned a lot of that from J.J. Hardy. Make every throw a firm one.
Escobar probably has the strongest arm on the roster.
Wonder what he'd throw velocity-wise off the mound if you gave him a chance. He'd certainly be up there in the 90s.
Yeah.
Escobar's been impressive. He's had a good day today as well, as a hit and an RBI. If you're a Brewers fan, you got to be happy with what you've seen from the rookies. Escobar, Lucroy, Kane. A bright future for position players, keeping the trend going of excellent talent coming up from the minor leagues.
I to say nothing about the guys in the bullpen. Braddock, John Axford. Certainly players that you can build around for the long term.
Dolman hits one sharply to center. 2-out base hit. Dolman has not been retired in this game. 2 for 2 with a walk.
That cut fastball down on his hands, and Dolman very strong, able to muscle it into center field. Watch the late movement on this pitch. Tried to get it on the inside corner, left it out over the plate, and Dolman able to fight it off and get his base hit with 2 outs.
And that'll bring up Lastings Milledge. Millage has 4 home runs this year total. 2 of them have come against the Brewers. Pulls that one foul in the seats. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, the Dodgers and the Rockies are underway. Colorado 2-0 over Los Angeles. The Rockies in the wild card race begin the day 4.5 back. The Dodgers 5.5 back. Philadelphia is the wild card leader to start the day. Game and a half lead on the Giants. Giants have had a rough time with the Diamondbacks here in the last couple of nights. And they're underway as well in San Francisco. Matt Cain pitching today for San Fran.
And not many can outslug the Diamondbacks, and that's what has been happening lately. They can hit.
It's going to be a good race, the wild card race, you figure. Bunch of teams tightly packed in there. For the Dodgers, the decision is coming up fast. They have to make a move by the 1st of September or the 31st of August, really. Do they trade away Manny Ramirez? Ramirez has a no-trade clause. It was also reported that Ted Lilly cleared waivers for the Dodgers, so he could be flipped for the Dodgers as well if they don't feel like they can stay in the race. I guess it all depends on the next 2 days. That's a tough call for a general manager to make because they're right on the borderline.
You got to be on the roster by the end of August in order to be qualified for the postseason.
Escobar able to knock it down. It's going to be an infield hit for Millage. And the Pirates making some noise here with 2 outs. With 2 base runners on singles.
Every now and again you'll see a deal that takes place in September for a team in contention, trying to pick up a player to get them into the postseason, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. In most cases, if the player that you trade for can't participate in the postseason, but every now and again it happens.
Well, I remember the Brewers did it with Todd Coffey. He was released by the Reds in 08, and the Brewers signed him. And boy, did he pitch some meaningful games for the Crew down the stretch in September of 08. He was not eligible for postseason play that year. If you're Ned Colletti, the general manager of the Dodgers, what do? Do you try to bolster your system a little bit, get some players in return, or do you make a run at it? Problem with the Dodgers, they're 5.5 back in the wild card, but they have a number of teams to climb over. I mean, Los Angeles has to get through Colorado, St. Louis, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. 4 teams in front of them.
And based on also the ownership situation, the lack of uncertainty as to what's going to happen with that. And Frank McCourt in a divorce situation, the Dodgers aren't really able to add payroll, so I would imagine nobody's going to have any problem with dumping payroll. That has been putting handcuffs on the Dodgers all year.
Yeah. And that court date actually begins on the 30th of August. Cedeno up there with a 2-2 count. Bush has given up 3 hits, but he got a double play that erased the leadoff single by Jones. Now back-to-back hits. Bush trying to get through to 6. It's 8-3 Milwaukee. Little bouncer McGee on a tough hop, fires on the run, and it's in time. Good play. Casey McGee to end the inning. And a scoreless inning for Dave Bush. Still 8-3 Brewers. Not a good start today. Neil Walker, a 2-run homer in the first inning, gave Pittsburgh the lead. But the Brewers came storming back. A 3-run first. They added 3 more in the third inning. Kataris has a couple of hits. Ryan Domer homered in the fourth inning for the third Pirate run, but it has been all Milwaukee. Ryan Braun banging out number 19 of the season. Braun has 3 hits. Drove it a pair with that home run. 79 RBIs now. And the highlight of the afternoon for many, the Clements Racing Sausages. But as always is the case on Sunday, it's the little weenies who steal the show. Go, run along. Very exciting, Rock.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
As long as the little cocktail weenies go the right way.
That's all we're asking.
Sometimes they're not sure. They spin them around, and in that suit, they're not sure what direction to go.
That is the responsibility of Drew Olson. Joe England leads off. 6th inning. Daniel McCutchen, who came on for Morton in the 4th, coming off a scoreless inning in the 5th inning. Garrett Jones, and the out is made at first. 1 away in the 6th. Well, we dig up the archive courtesy of Digger's Hotline, and we take you back. A very sore moment. It was a great moment, but it could have been an even better moment. August 31st of 08, CC Sabathia. That was what they called a hit. That was an error. It's still an error. It's not a hit. Should have been a no-hitter. But they gave LaRoche a hit, and CC Sabathia a 1-hitter, which is still his low hit career game, and a shutout for Sabathia.
Yep, and in the media asking the official score about that decision, he said that it would have taken an extraordinary effort by Sabathia to make that play. Are you kidding me?
Not true.
Are you kidding me?
It's not true. And matter of fact, Sabathia's very next start, he made almost the exact play with ease. He got it out.
Right. Didn't barehand it. He got it with the glove and then made the out, but an extraordinary effort to get that. That was Andy LaRoche who got that base hit.
Yep. So a 1-hitter. But we were that close to the second franchise no-hitter. I think CC Sabathia was the least affected by it all. All the players, I remember Ned Yost was fired up after the game. He was running around. He wanted names. He wanted phone numbers. They tried to appeal.
Now, do you have replay on that?
No, that would not be a replayable.
Now, the official score cannot be scrutinized like the umpires then. Right?
Correct.
Right. Okay. I just want to know what the rules are.
Yeah. You mean the replay rules that I've devised?
Right. Where does that fit in?
That would not count. Not subject to replay. I was going to ask Bud Selig about it when he was in the booth with us, but he was having such a great day. And
yeah, you don't want to.
I don't want to go there with it.
You didn't want to take it down that road. That was a good call by you.
I appreciate that. Braun draws the walk. He has not been retired today. On base 4 times, just like last night. Our text question from Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin, Cal and Merton. He wants to know how many times have the Brewers had 5 players with 20 or more home runs.
In one season, right? 1982, perhaps. Could that have been up there?
The Brewers have 4 players with 20 home runs this year. Braun is 1 away. He's at 19. And it's happened on 3 other occasions. You're right about 82. And 07 and 08 are the 3 occasions that it's happened. Could be 2010 with one more Braun home run. And if he stays healthy, you figure he'll get there.
Yep, 1982, Gorman Thomas led the team with 39 home runs. Ben Oglivie 34. Cecil 32. Yount 29. And Ted Simmons with 23 home runs. Harvey's wall bangers.
Ryan Braun picked off first base. Not even close. Braun was ready to run. And an out at first.
Yep. Leaking over there towards second base. Good job by McCutchen to pick him off.
So 2 strikes on Fielder with 2 outs now. Interesting that Braun and Fielder have been a part of 2 of the 3 5 players with 20 or more homers in a season.
Yeah, Jeff Jenkins involved in that 07.
Man, Fielder hit by a pitch. They just keep coming. Weeks and Fielder hit by pitches today. And the numbers continue to rise. Right off that protective padding on that elbow.
Yep. I'll give you the incentive just to keep that elbow in there just a little bit longer than you ordinarily would. That's not going to hurt Prince.
Mike Vasallo providing this bit of historical commentary. As you see, Weeks and Fielder combining for 44 hit by pitches this year. As McGee bounces one to short, and the inning is over. We'll give you the note on the hit by pitches all time when we come back. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. Back at Miller Park, 8-3 our score. The Brewers lead the Pittsburgh Pirates, trying to sweep them out of town. Speaking of Andy LaRose, there he is. Pinch hitting. LaRose hitting for Daniel McCutchen, who goes 2 2/3. Dave Bush's pitch count now at 100 as he works here in the 7th inning. You know, Mako would love to get him through the 7th. So LaRose skies one, shallow center. Dickerson is there, and one away. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers are headed to Cincinnati tonight. They start a 3-game series with the Reds tomorrow. And a reminder that the first 2 games on Fox Sports Wisconsin, Wednesday's game, a night game, is on WMLW. It's a 6 o'clock airtime. Miller Lite, what's on tap? So 1 away, here is Tabata. So Fielder hit by a pitch last inning. He and Weeks both hit by pitches today. And Mike Vasallo reports that it's the 6th time in Major League history that teammates have been hit by 20 or more pitches. And the last time it was done was 1911. So it's the 6th time overall, but most of it was done in the dead ball era,
right,
prior to 1911. And you go back to the 1911 Washington Senators, Kid Eberfeld and Doc Gessler. And Fielder and Weeks are going to break that record as well. Eberfeld was hit by 25 pitches, and Doc Gessler by 20. I mean, that's back when they threw spitballs legally.
Right.
And they didn't, you couldn't keep a foul ball if you're a fan. Balls got all banged up, roughed up.
Times have changed quite a bit back since those days.
We're talking about the modern era here, and it's never been seen before in this modern era of Major League Baseball. That's why it's so alarming for Ken Maka and Doug Melvin to see all of these hit by pitches.
Man, the Pittsburgh Pirates have plunked a number of Brewer hitters this year. Matter of fact, the Pirate pitching staff leads the National League in hit batters with 52. So their pitching staff leads the league. They've hit the most, but the opposition has hit them the fewest amount. I guess if you're struggling like the Pirates have been, why put base runners on, right?
That one's well hit, deep right field. There it goes, another home run. And it's Delwyn Young this time who goes deep. The 3rd home run of the game for the Pirates, the 6th of the series. And the long ball has bitten Dave Bush today. That's Young's 6th homer of the season.
Well, that fastball right down the middle. You can see Katara setting up on the outside corner. Leaked back down the heart of the plate, and Delwyn Young didn't miss it. A line drive bullet out of here to right. Now 3 home runs, 2 of them solo shots. They're not going to hurt you too bad.
Eight to 4 is our score. 2 outs for Neil Walker. He homered back in the 1st. Just to finish off the Fielder hit by pitch note. Fielder's career high before this season was 14. That was back in 07. Last year, Prince was hit 9 times. So 9 times last year. 14 was his career high. He got hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. His 21st time hit by a pitch. So the numbers are alarming. They really are.
Yeah.
It's not like guys are throwing at Prince Fielder, but he's getting hit a lot. Walker grounds out. The inning is over. And it is 8 to 4 Milwaukee. As our custom on Sunday, we turn it over to Rob Edwards and Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America.
Of Major League Baseball, as we honor this great nation with the singing of God Bless America, led by Martina McBride.
getting set for Brewers Live coming up after the ball game. Chris Dickerson set to lead off here. 3 RBIs, big 2 RBI single back in the first inning. Spot start duty for him. Pretty productive today.
Well, it certainly has been. And you know, the thing about Chris is that he's getting a little bit more playing time, and he's feeling more comfortable, and he's swinging the bat pretty good.
All right, he's due to lead off this inning here. And if you're wondering about the Brewers going to Cincinnati tomorrow, his counterpart to the trade involving Jim Edmonds. Jim Edmonds on the DL right now for the Reds, but the roof partially closed right now. What's coming up on the instructional based on that?
Well, you know, with that, we're talking about the sun and how you're going to block the ball if you have glasses and when you don't have glasses.
All right, we'll see if we can get you and Rock paired up for that. All right, we've got Brewers Live coming up after the ball game, guys.
We're going to break out some flip downs today, Rock.
Yeah.
What will your role be in this instructional? Are you going to be pretending to be the sun with your yellow shirt?
No, I'm going to be flipping balls to Davey as he shows us how to use the flip downs.
Uh-oh.
That's what he used to do, you know.
There's a little element of danger involved in that.
I'm just going to toss him easily.
I hope he doesn't take one of the choppers. Brian Burris is on the pitch for the Pirates. Dickerson bounces one to Walker and one away. And the Brewers 7th. 8-4 is our score. Milwaukee leading Pittsburgh. The Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Padres to start this homestand. And were swept by the Dodgers. And a chance to sweep the Pirates. So a chance at a 5-4 homestand where they win today. Try to make it a winning homestand. It's off to Cincinnati and Philadelphia, the next road trip. And then the Brewers return Labor Day, Monday, for a matchup with the Cardinals. As Escobar lines out. 2 outs. U.S. Cellular text to vote question, the best storyline so far this year. We want to hear from you. Time is running out. We'll give you the final results during today's Brewers Live postgame show. W for Weeks, X for Hart, Y for McGee, Z for John Axford. Two gone, and Kataris at the plate. He's had a good day. Been able to get his batting average over 200. You never want to be on the interstate this time of the year. And 2 hits today for Kataris. And making 3 hits today for Kataris. One of his better days as a Brewer. 3 hits, an RBI.
George staying on the baseball well today, able to stay back on that breaking pitch from Burris, lefty versus lefty, and George hits it on the sweet spot and his 3rd hit. So another good day for the bottom of the order for Milwaukee. 6 through 8 have been very productive today.
Dave Bush is spot in the lineup due to hit, and instead it'll be Carlos Gomez pinch hitting. Little bouncer to Burris. And the side retired. So Dave Bush goes 7. He's got a chance at a win. The Brewers are up 8-4, and we go to the 8th inning. click on the link. I like how Katie says that. That's a good heat. The Brewers are headed for some good heat.
Dry heat?
No, it's not dry. Cincinnati. Anything but. Brooms are out for sure. The Brewers trying to sweep the Pirates. They are 6 outs away from doing that. Zach Braddock will take over out of the bullpen.
Yeah, the only pitcher in the bullpen last night that was not used by Ken Macha. So Dave Bush does his job today. Able to go 6, 7 innings, I should say, and that's what we were talking about when he came on the air. Very important for Bush to eat up some innings, and he gave Ken Macha 7. Good job.
Now Bush 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 were earned, and he walked 2, struck out 4, and a chance at his 7th win. Bush picked up his first win against Pittsburgh of the season back in April, and has twice beaten the Pirates. He's got a chance for his 3rd victory against Pittsburgh. Could be 3 out of 7 wins against the Pirates for Bush. Garrett Jones leads off, then Alvarez, then Doman. It's going to be interesting to see what Ken Macha does with the 9th inning, especially if the Pirates score a run in this inning and it ends up as a save situation. Does he go with Trevor Hoffman, or does he give the ball to John Axford?
Ken Macha said before the ball game that John Axford's good for 1 inning today.
Hoffman still sitting on 598 career saves.
But having Macha said that, it doesn't mean that he's going to be in the game.
Braddock with a strikeout. Garrett Jones is gone.
Last few outings have been pretty good for Zach. He's throwing hard. And look at the location up in his zone. Jones has had a tough time with that pitch the entire series.
Pedro Alvarez with 1 away. Braddock did not appear in last night's game, but he was up in the bullpen on 1 occasion. Last night the Brewers used 7 relievers, make it 6 relievers, to pick up 8 innings. Only giving up 1 run last night, so it was imperative that Dave Bush went deep, and he obliged. He went 7 here today. Casey McGee will give it a look, and it's a little too deep for him. 0-2 on Alvarez. The Nationals have finished off the Cardinals today. 4-2 the final score. Adam Wainwright losing again on the road. That's his 9th loss. 17-9 is Wainwright. John Lannon beat Adam Wainwright today. Alvarez down on strikes. 2 gone for Braddock in the 8th.
Just coming in pumping fastballs, lefty versus lefty, and back-to-back strikeouts. Another high fastball. Both Jones and Alvarez have a tough time laying off that pitch.
The art of the high fastball.
Very effective with 2 strikes.
Ryan Doumit, switch hitter, turns around, hits right-handed against Braddock. So the Reds pick up a game on the Cardinals in the National League Central. Now a 5-game lead for Cincinnati, as the Brewers are headed to the Queen City tomorrow. Well, it just reminds me of that series between the Cardinals and the Reds. St. Louis swept Cincinnati. Remember Brandon Phillips' comments and the bench clearing brawl that ensued. And after that series, the Cardinals kind of went into the tank a little bit, and the Reds have just kept on winning. And now they have a 5-game lead in the Central Division with a little over a month to play. Down he goes.
Almost lost his shorts.
We had a little exposure issue at one point.
Life's the most embarrassing moments.
Here, take the ball, pal. This made me nauseous. You got to give him some effort. He tried to stay in there, but that ground just kept creeping up.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Everybody's hanging, just absolutely taking everybody out. Somebody call a plumber? Doma draws a 2-out walk. Brewers have their rotation set for the series. In Cincinnati, Randy Wolf tomorrow against Homer Bailey. And then Gallardo back on the mound Tuesday. No starter announced for the Reds on Tuesday. Chris Narveson against Johnny Cueto Wednesday. Lastings Millage with 2 away. We have breaking news here. Mike Vassallo reporting that Aaron Harang will pitch the Tuesday game. Mike Vassallo has been on top of his game today.
How did he know that we were wondering about that?
It's just, I think he had a feeling maybe somebody texted him. Probably read about it on his Facebook page. Very popular Facebook page for Mike Vassallo.
Hey, during Majestic Athletic Walk-Off Wednesdays, fans who purchase a Majestic name and number T-shirt will be eligible to win an authentic Majestic Brewers jersey. If the player on their T-shirt hits a walk-off home run, that's on Wednesdays. Majestic Walk-Off Wednesdays.
Ball and a strike on Millage. He has a group of fans in Pittsburgh that sit out in left field, and they have named themselves the Millage people. You get it?
I do. I was a big band, not from New Jersey.
No.
You know, in my day. The Village People.
Remember we were talking about Rat? That's
right.
Actually, I was thinking about Skid Row is from New Jersey. That hit him. So Millage is hit by a pitch.
Yeah, dangerous territory right now. I mean, now all of a sudden the tying run is on the on-deck circle. Just got a piece of the jersey. Didn't get much of Millage, if anything. Got a piece of the wardrobe is all.
And we're going to have a pitching change here. So Ken Maka will make the change with Ronnie Cedeno coming up.
throwing the baseball very well. A 2.00 earned run average. Zach Braddock struck out the first 2 hitters very easily, and then a Doman walk. Got a piece of Miller's jersey, and now the Brewers make a pitching change, a tying run on the on-deck circle. This game's not over yet.
Well, Rami Cedeno will bat for Pittsburgh with 2 away. They're still hanging tough out there. Staying seated out in the Tundra territory this time around. They're locked in. Now, McClendon gave up the only run out of the relief corps last night through 8 innings. Gave up a home run to Neil Walker. Ball and a strike. How about the Atlanta Braves, Rock? They scored 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th. They come back and win. They beat the Marlins 7-6. Marlins had a 6-1 lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. He caught it. Getting over. McClendon reaches up and stabs one. Steals a base hit from Cedeno. The inning is over. Good reaction on the mound as McClendon ends the inning. And Ryan Braun inching his way toward 20 homers. His 19th of the year. Hit a laser shot. Back in the 4th inning. 3 hits today for Braun. 3 hits today for Tataris. George is 3 for 4 with an RBI. Dave Bush with 7. In line for his 7th win of the year. He gave up 4 runs, 3 earned runs. And we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Evan Meek is the new Pittsburgh pitcher. He'll face the top of the Brewers order. Weeks, Inglet, and Braun. And the hard-throwing Evan Meek.
And first appearance in this series. He's got a couple of saves for the Pirates. He and Joel Hanrahan have taken over the closer's duty, the vacated spot of Octavio Dotel.
Ricky Weeks is 0 for 3 today. Was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and he scored a run. 8 runs on 10 hits for Milwaukee today. Pirates have 4 runs on 7 hits, and all of their runs have come with the home run ball. Walker had a 2-run homer. Domet and Delwyn Young with solo shots. They say he went. That's one way to speed the game up. Ball and 2 strikes on Weeks. Good call. So much for Jim Gantner's black bat theory.
Yeah, but it's a day game. I have to keep reminding you that it only works at night.
What color bat should you use during a day game?
Well, probably the natural finish, perhaps, if anything would help. I dismissed that whole theory anyway.
You just didn't dismiss it in front of Gumby.
That's just oh yeah, especially in front of Gumby. That's the fun part.
Oh, you know, with a black bat, you could get a lot of check swings with that black bat.
Plus the hitter, you know, the fielders, you say you can't see the flight of the baseball. You can't see the bat make contact. That's the Jim Gantner theory. As well as the umpire at the check swings.
That is a swing, and that is a strikeout for Evan Meek. That's one of the great thrills about working here. You show up to the ballpark, and Jim Gantner will be here, Jerry Augustine, Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas,
Larry Heisel.
Yeah, Larry Heisel's here a lot. That's fun to get back into the good old days. Bill Schroeder.
He didn't have to do that.
But I mean it. Just having a chat with my buddy.
Now, check swings subject to the Brian Anderson replay rules.
I would say that's a good question. Possibly. Problem is, as England rolls one to first, and the second out. Here's the thing. The shot we show you for check swings comes from the dugouts. So that's a little different angle than what the first base umpire has. It's kind of a similar line, but not quite the angle that indicates whether he swings or not.
I just had a couple of check swing cameras.
That could be done. Just put them right down there on the foul pole.
Money's no object when you're talking about the Brian Anderson replay rules, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now you're getting it. I think it's been a busy day for Ryan Braun at the plate, presented by Wendy's. On base 4 times. He was on base 4 times last night. And his batting average is at .299 for the season now. Braun has been able to raise his batting average a little over 20 points in about a month, which is saying something. Braun with his 47th multi-hit game. That's significant because it's second in the National League. Only Martin Prado of the Braves has more multi-hit games this year. Prado has 50. And this is going to be a big homestand for Braun. He has put up some big numbers in front of Fielder. Prince with 3 homers on the homestand as well. Braun on the homestand, 14 for 33, a .424 batting average.
And doing a lot of damage to right field. A lot of his base hits have come the other direction. Got a curveball to pull out of the ballpark today. But going line to line, that's when Ryan is at his best, not trying to pull the baseball.
Oh, a shot right off the chest of Meek. And he's down. Braun is safe, and this is a scary moment here. Well, you just hope Meek's going to be all right. That was some kind of scary line drive from Ryan Braun.
I can't hit it any harder than that. No, really no time for Meek to defend himself. And boy, a bullet. Breaking ball and got him right in the chest. Those can be just as damaging as getting hit in the head. Boy, right down he goes, and boy, you hope he's going to be okay.
Well, they're bringing him to his feet here. That is a very good sign. These athletic trainers wouldn't take any chances of getting Meek to his feet. And he's holding his hand there. You know, it looked like it caught a a piece of his hand, obviously a little more than we originally thought. But
look at a welt on his hand, on his arm, right above his hand. Man. Yeah, he was able to get that hand up there. Not that was any help to him. But a big welt right above the wrist.
Well, it's good that he's on his feet, but he's headed to the clubhouse. If we get any news on Meek, we'll report that to you as soon as we can. We'll take a timeout. Park had not even thrown a pitch down in the bullpen, so we'll have a bit of a delay here. Evan Meek hit by a Ryan Braun line drive, knocks him out of the game. And what looks like a wrist injury. A wicked line drive from Braun. And just take a look and a listen in real time here. And Meek goes down. The good news is Meek left on his own 2 feet. He walked out, but they were holding his right hand, his right wrist. So we'll take another timeout. Chan Ho Park still loosening up to get ready to pitch in this game. We'll take a break. Taken off the field under his own power, but could be a serious injury to Evan Meek and his right wrist. Chan Ho Park given all the time he needed to get loose, and he is ready to go here. He'll face Prince Fielder. The Brewers batting in the 8th with 2 outs, and Braun at first base. Prince Fielder at the plate, 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. And an 8-4 Milwaukee lead. fielder on the first pitch. Skies one to left field. Tabata makes a catch. The inning is over. So here we go to the ninth. Last call for the Pirates. The Brewers lead by 4. Of the homestand, and the Brewers trying to sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates and make it a winning homestand. A 5-4 homestand is in front of them, and we're running out of homestands for the 2010 season. As a matter of fact, the Brewers will return Labor Day, and it starts a homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs, and after that, just one more, the Reds and the Marlins in town in mid-September. Trevor Hoffman getting loose just in case this turns into a save situation. So we might see Trevor Hoffman still in this game. As McClendon is back on the mound, Andrew McCutchen pinch hitting. It's a 3-run game to start the ninth, or check it, a 4-run game to start the ninth. It needs to be in a 3-run game to be a save situation, or have the tying run in the on-deck circle. And McClendon would like to just get through it. 1, 2, 3 and call it a day. McClendon came on, got the final out of the 8th inning, and pitching here in the 9th. Picked up his first major league victory earlier on this homestand against San Diego last Saturday. And he walks McCutchen on 5 pitches. Not a good start.
Well, McCutchen really has had a rough month of August. That's why he got today off, hitting about 204 in the month of August. So he gets a pinch hitting opportunity, and one more base run, it becomes a save situation. And Trevor Hoffman, I would imagine, going to come trotting out of that bullpen. That would give the fans something to cheer about.
Rick Peterson to the mound.
Brewer pitchers today have done a nice job throwing strikes. Only 2 walks. Make that 3 walks today by Brewer pitching. Dave Bush walked 2, and the walk to McCutchen here. Actually, 4 walks. Never mind.
McClendon with his first, and he misses to Jose Tabata. Well, we might hear Hell's bells ringing in any case here at Miller Park. 2 balls, no strikes. Pirates are at the top of their batting order. There's a strike, 2-1. Well, the Brewers are headed to Cincinnati with their offense clicking at this point. Another double-digit hit game for Milwaukee. 8 runs on 11 hits today. 8 runs on 15 hits yesterday. 7 runs on 10 hits Friday. It's a good sign. That one's hit well, center field. Backing up is Dickerson, and he runs it down. The first out of the 9th inning, McClendon retires Tabata. At this point, Ryan Braun is our Menards player of the game. A 4-hit game today. Braun with 15 hits on the homestand.
Yeah, most of the runs scored by the top of the batting order. Most of the RBIs by the bottom of the batting order. Ryan Braun at the top with 2 ribbies. So everybody, contributing today.
A shot off McClendon's leg, and this is going to go as a base hit. Delwyn Young rips one back up the middle.
And that will bring Trevor Hoffman out of that bullpen. And a tying run on deck. You got a couple of left-handers coming up. Actually, Walker is switch hitter, and then you've got a couple of left-handers coming up. See what Ken Machkin elects to do. Got to believe he's going to bring Trevor in.
Well, Peterson is on the phone. And the all-time saves leader might get a chance at another one here today. And here comes Maka. A save situation. And Hell's Bells will ring once again at Miller Park. Trevor Hoffman making a run at number 599. For the Milwaukee Brewers. It is 8-4. The tying run has moved into the on-deck circle. There is 1 out in the inning. And Hoffman on for his 8th save of the year if he can take this one to the finish line.
He pitched a perfect 10th inning in last night's ball game. Has been unscored upon in 22 of his last 26 games. In that span, he's Had a 2.52 earned run average. Tying run on deck for Pittsburgh.
Hoffman right in the middle of the Pirates batting order. And one of their hottest hitters coming up, Neil Walker. So Trevor with 2 outs to get for number 599. So Hoffman with a couple of lefties he'll face here. Walker's a switch hitter. But Trevor can be as effective or even more effective against left-handed batters with his changeup. There's a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, and that's been the difference maker for Trevor. That pitch right there, right on the outside corner. He's able to throw that for strikes, get ahead, and put hitters away with that changeup.
Hoffman's last save came in St. Louis against the Cardinals. That was on the 18th of August. And a swing and a miss.
They have 3 fastballs to start Walker. You might see the change up here.
Ball and 2 strikes. Out in front, fielder will play it safely to first. 2 men are out. And Trevor an out away from 599.
That good change up down in the strike zone. Walker way out in front and an easy out to Prince. That's the thing. That was the problem that he had early in the year. Just couldn't get ahead with the fastball. The fastball was getting too much at home plate. Lately, he's been on the corner.
Garrett Jones for the Pirates, their last hope. Falling behind 2-0 to Jones. Tying run still in the on-deck circle, and that's where you want to keep him. Pedro Alvarez scheduled to hit next. Pirates have hurt Trevor Hoffman this season. Back in April, Ryan Doumit specifically in back-to-back games. And that one's hit high and far. Jones watches this one. It is hooking, and it is a foul ball. Man, did he get a hold of that one.
Got behind 2-0 through the fastball. Jones waiting for it, and boy, hit it a ton, but hooked it foul.
2 outs in the 9th. And a close call down the right field line. Didn't miss the foul pole by much. Another big cut. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trevor Hoffman talking about all the support he's received. He has not had a good year, had a bad start to the year, but he's been pitching very well out of the bullpen in non-save roles to get this chance again. The 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Trevor loves pitching in Milwaukee in front of these fans who have embraced him so. He's a strike away from getting a save away from a milestone. Full count. Hot shot. Ricky Weeks knocks it down. He's got to hurry. The throw in time. Trevor Hoffman with number 599. And the Brewers win it. They sweep the Pirates. Trevor Hoffman with his 8th save of the season. And he is one away from that magical 600. A sweep of the Pirates. An 8-4 win. And we check in with Craig Kashawn. Plenty more to come on Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury.
Well, thanks very much, Brian. You got that right. Big cheer when 599 was ripped down. There you go for Trevor Hoffman. Hope to catch up with him. Plenty to talk about. Big Brewer win. Another sweep over the Pirates on the way.